replay. Don't mean to hold ya, but I wanna do over. Gas up the ship, shoot me a text and let me know when it is time. I wanna get off, I wanna get off. 1 star, would not recommend that we go far from here. I wanna get off, I wanna get off. Stop the world.
A music podcast for the culture. Wild, wild thoughts.
What's going on? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Wild Thoughts. We got a few things to talk about today that we're going to get into. First off, shout out to Shannon Perkins. She hit me on the inbox and told me that she really wanted us to talk about Marcellus Williams, his execution today. My cousin T-Rex, I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday, put me up on game about what was going on about that. So today I had to dig deeper into it. So shout out to Shannon Perkins. Like I said, thanks, Shannon. We're going to be talking about that for you first. That's going to be first on the docket tonight. So if you don't know, there was a young man, was it in Missouri?
Yeah, Tennessee.
Yeah,
I believe.
It was Tennessee?
I think it was Tennessee, Missouri.
But there was a young man, and he was arrested for murder back in 1998, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And they, you know how it happens. They didn't have any physical evidence, but he had, I guess, a criminal history of break-ins. They said he had a bunch of arrests, but all his arrests were nonviolent arrests. But suddenly they gave him this murder. And for years he was saying he was innocent. The Innocence Project finally got a hold to it. After the Innocence Project got a hold to it, they said there were some inconsistencies with the evidence. And then the actual, up until yesterday, what up, Michael Baird? The actual prosecutor came on yesterday. The one who prosecuted the original case came on and said, I think we got it wrong, and was asking for a stay of execution. So you had the original prosecutor, you had his attorney, and you had other lawyers that were saying, like, just give it a stay of execution. Let us further, investigate this. And of course, that's not what happened. They did not give him a stay of execution. And unfortunately, yesterday, they gave him lethal injection, and he was killed, murdered, really, by lethal injection. So, Rex, I want to ask you first, before we get into like the minutia of this, before we dive into the weeds, what are your thoughts on the death penalty?
It's unfair. I don't even think that should be a thing. Like, it shouldn't. Like, why is another person giving like the upper hand for somebody else saying, yeah, I think he should die because he did such and such and such and such, while other people are getting life and all this other stuff? So why don't you just? I just felt like if y'all gonna do if that's gonna be in play, just give somebody life instead of killing them. Like, just let them live behind bars if that's the case.
Yeah. So I would be for the death penalty in theory.
Yeah.
Right. I would be for the death penalty in theory, like Shannon just said. She said, I believe in the death penalty in certain circumstances. I do too, Shannon, but it's too flawed. To me, if you're gonna have a death penalty, you have to have it all the way right. Damn near somebody on video, and you can see that they did it on video. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
to a certain extent, yeah.
To a certain, but other than that, I feel like the death penalty is too flawed, especially for how flawed our justice system is, especially and specifically towards Black folks.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to disproportionately affect us with wrong convictions and wrongful death. So that's why, like, as much as in theory, I say yes, I will believe in the death penalty in theory if the Justice Department was real justice. Shannon said a confession with DNA evidence is enough for me. There's a time I might have said that, but like, we didn't have so many coerced confessions. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have so many coerced confessions. I don't know. Having so many coerced confessions. And if y'all wondering, people that's on Instagram, seeing us on the Wild Bunch Instagram tonight, if y'all wondering why I'm on the Wild Bunch Instagram and not my Dame Wild Instagram, because somebody hacked me on my Instagram and got
Motherfuckers.
my Instagram disabled.
Why? For
So
what? What do y'all want with this nigga?
there's a hater out there who got my Instagram disabled. I guess they hacked me and then started doing spam shit. And then they said that I was going against community guidelines. So I'm trying to get it back. So if y'all know anybody, y'all got any ideas of how I can get my Instagram back, please hit me up and let me know. Because I really want to get my IG back, man.
You
That's
sent the
super
email
wacky
in? Did
to
you send
wake
the
up.
email in?
I did, but they don't, they don't be giving a damn. So that's why I'm on Wild Bunch's Instagram doing Wild Thoughts.
You know what you should have did? You should have got a blue check first, and then hopefully that, you know what I'm saying? They probably would have fucked with you then.
Something, man. I don't know. This is wild. Like I literally woke up and they're like, you got a 180-day suspension. And I was like, for what? They didn't say for what or nothing like that. So then I was like, okay. And they said, well, we'll review it. And they reviewed it and literally came back in a minute and a half. Was like, yeah, we reviewed it. Your account is disabled permanently.
What, bro? As much as stuff is on Instagram now, and y'all worried about him?
That's what
Come
I'm
on,
saying,
bro.
But anyway, like I said, man, I think the death penalty has too many issues, too many holes, and like I said, to me, it disproportionately affects black folks. And because they say like people feel like if he a criminal, he should got it anyway. Like, oh well, he had those other arrests. Yeah, but that's not murder.
Yeah, that's not murder.
And there was literally no physical evidence tying him to it. And then if you get somebody who's saying like the prosecution is even saying like we prosecuted this, I think we got it wrong. And it went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court was like, nah. So I don't,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's tough.
It's unfair as hell, bro.
It's tough. Shannon, is there anything that you wanted to add to the conversation? Because I know this is something that you specifically wanted to talk about. So I want to know if there was any like angle that you wanted to talk about, or anything you felt like was missed by me or the press, or hold on, let me read this. Casey hitting us with it. She said, Casey said, I don't know how to feel about the death penalty anymore. We have to put ourselves in other people's shoes. I mean, folks love to judge others. How about lifers and live life until God takes their final breath? You're welcome to speak. I have mixed emotions as well. Interestingly enough, we know it costs a lot of money to house prisoners. Just thinking out loud. No, that's actually a really good point. But I agree with you. I feel like since the system is so flawed, you got to do life.
Yeah,
you got to give people life. Yeah, you got to give people life,
bro.
Because even if somebody innocent gets life and they're innocent, they're in jail, but they're still alive. But you take the life of somebody and you didn't get it right. One death that's not the right one is too
beyond
many.
Me. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? One innocent person dying on death row is one too many.
That should be above niggas' pay grades. Why are you saying yes? Let's kill him. No,
you know what's so interesting to me too about people, period, like especially the people who say they pro-life. They say they pro-life, but they be down with the death penalty. That don't make sense to me. How you pro-life, but you down with killing somebody? You know what I mean? Because if you pro-life, he's supposed to be pro-life, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So how are you giving people death and you supposed to be pro-life? Shannon said, could Biden have commuted his sentence? I've had a lot of people put the blame on Vice President Harris, and I had to let them know that she didn't have the power. I think Biden could have commuted his sentence, but I think they were trying to let it go through what it's supposed to go through, because like I said, it went up to the Supreme Court yesterday. Yeah. And the cool thing about the Supreme Court voted based on how they feel about the death penalty. All the people who believe in the death penalty voted yes. All the people who don't believe in the death penalty voted no.
Oh. Yeah.
So even with that, you feel like this person's life could have been used to make a point for the people who believe in the death penalty, right? Like say like, oh well, that's the system. That's what the system says. So even if the system got it wrong, we got to roll with this. So like I said, I think it's too flawed. But Casey, to your point, you said that it costs a whole lot of money to house prisoners. Well, there's a lot of people who are in there for nonviolent offenses.
And they still in there.
Who's still in there? There's a lot of people in there for marijuana. There's a lot of people, serial killers, rapists, child molesters. Look, I know. Again, like I said, if this justice system was really about justice and got it right, Casey, I said, because of course you feel like serial killers, rapists, and child molesters, of course they should get the death penalty. But if you got serial killers, rapists, and child molesters, and they got the wrong person, the death penalty is flawed. That's how I feel. It's flawed. Like too many coerced confessions, we've had too many coerced confessions. We've had, you know, too many false imprisonments. Shannon said that's why I should be term limits on the Supreme Court. Yo, don't get me started on that. She said that's the way. Yeah, she said that's the way. Yeah, like there's so many non-violent prisoners in there who got like 10, 15 years for marijuana. Let them all out. They should be out. Non-violent offenses. Yeah, you know what I mean? Or like people who was getting like 15 years for shoplifting back in the day and stuff like that. Get them out of there, bro. Get them up out of there.
That's wasting time. Like, what are y'all doing?
But to your point, because like we've all had, well, you know, a lot of us, I won't say we all, but a lot of us have had crime, been victims of crime in our family.
Mm-hmm.
And even putting it in my own shoes, I still wouldn't ask for the death penalty because I wouldn't feel consciously right, because I'm like, we got to know that we know that this is the person that did it.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the police, because it's like, it's not just court. You got to talk about the law enforcement system. Then you got to talk about the justice system, the actual
and then
courts.
It goes up from there.
Yeah. And like I said, the people that it disproportionately affects, it's going to be people of color and black people more specifically even.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. It's really set up for us minorities, especially on that front. Like I said, you know, because it was interesting. I heard somebody talking about stats. Like they were talking about stats about like how black folks are, they commit the most crimes and they commit the most murders per capita. And I said, it's funny that they say that, but the stats you're going by aren't true stats.
Mm-hmm.
Black people are more likely to be arrested for crimes because there's a lot of white folks running free because nobody thought to look their way and thought to arrest them. Mm-hmm. So even those stats, you can't really go by those stats because the amount of white folks who just literally don't even get looked at. Like you think about, I always go back to the white dude who sexually assaulted the young lady, and the judge was like, I don't want to mess up this man's life, this young man's life. He got a lot of life.
You're talking about the little young boy. Yeah. I remember that.
So think about how much, you know, how often that happens. Casey said, the bottom line, I believe we want everyone to live regardless of the circumstances. The prisoners will take care of them. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they don't like that shit.
but I won't even go as far as say, you know, we want everyone to live. Like honestly, like I said, I would be down for the death penalty, especially for, like you said, rapists, child molesters, and murderers. I would be down for the death penalty if the justice system wasn't so out of whack, if the justice system wasn't so jacked up. But because it got so many flaws, so many holes, when you got the actual prosecutor coming back saying, "Hey, y'all, we fucked up," and they like, well, he got to go anyway. That shows you how big of a problem and an issue.
Yeah, that shit's
that
weird,
it is.
Bro. That's weird.
Yeah, so I hope that this case can spark something in regards to like making it better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you want to have the death penalty, you got to have stop gaps to make this thing better. Shannon Perkins said, I think not enough victims see actual justice. Oh, 100%. 100%. And like I said, because a lot of times police don't even arrest people. And when they do arrest people, a lot of times, like I said,
they arrest the wrong motherfuckers.
She said prison has too many amenities now. I ain't never been, so I don't know what they got and what they get.
Yeah, what they
so
get.
I ain't gonna speak on that. I ain't gonna be mad at them people got a little TV. You know what I mean? But I have seen some videos where dudes was in there having whole fashion shows and cooking in their cell.
Yeah, big TV screens,
yeah,
games,
big TV
and
screen.
food,
like how you got a TV bigger than me in your little ass cell?
Man,
you got a 64 inch in your cell. Cable? How you got cable in the cell?
What? Y'all watching football in there?
Got a Roku.
Watching all the hot movies before we do.
Tablets, but they don't want to be there. Yeah, for real. Like, Dame, go check out the story about Cameron Terrell, the white kid that was from him too. He was putting in the work, and who got arrested and who went to jail. All the black dudes that was with Cameron went to jail.
And what he do?
They didn't want to mess up their white boy life, and then he got to go back to the suburbs.
He went back home to the suburbs.
And that's what I mean.
Exactly, Donald.
Exactly, Donald. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
let the family of the victims make the choice if they are actually guilty. Oh, that's a good.
That's true. That's a good one,
Brian. That's a good statement. I'm not mad at that. Because they said the family of the guy who got lethal injection yesterday. The family of Marcellus Williams, they said the family of the young lady that he murdered, they said the family was like, don't do it. Her
Wow.
family, so that's what I say, her family, the prosecutor, and his lawyer were all saying like something is off, and the Innocent Project, don't do it. This man didn't do it. He didn't have no physical evidence connecting him to it. Crazy.
Wow.
And they still did that man in anyway. And that, like I said, to me, it just goes to show how flawed the system is. And if you can't for sure say this is what it is, this is what happened, we have DNA, we have video of him going, like, you know what I mean? Like, if it ain't open and shut,
If it ain't adding up,
especially
nigga.
all those 90 cases where they was just like, oh,
Bruh.
we need to arrest somebody before the week is out. You know what I'm saying? Sounds like they didn't believe in the death penalty. No case, they said they actually didn't believe he did it. Like, after, I guess, her family was confronted with the evidence and confronted with the prosecutorial misconduct, they didn't want him killed. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you know how many prosecutors we have that are just like, I mean, think about the people we know in our own lives who probably got arrested for something, and because they didn't have the money for a lawyer, they didn't have money for bail, or they didn't have collateral for a bail bondsman, they were forced to take a deal for something they know they didn't do. But they said, either you take a deal, because I've seen this with people that I know, either you take a deal or you're going to probably get the max. Even if you didn't do it, these are your choices. Take a deal and take a couple months and get a felony on your record, or you're going to do 10 to 15 years. These are the choices that they give you when they just trying to sew you up the road. And again, if you don't have money for an attorney and you can't afford it, they be in there railroading folks, scaring folks into taking deals and plea deals that they shouldn't have to take. So, you know, that's, again, I know I keep going back to it, but that's why I think it's too flawed to have the death penalty, because it's too many holes to figure out if somebody did it or not. And our justice system and our police system is just not up to par enough to definitively say, hey, I think it's for sure this is, you know what I mean? And you think about it, you playing God with somebody's life. If you got it wrong, man, you playing God with somebody's life and you get it wrong, like, you can't take that back.
Nope, that's it.
At least with life, you can get them out.
Yeah,
You can try to make them whole as much as possible. Oh,
Yeah.
you know, this, we sue the city. Like, think about it. If they would have actually executed the Central Park 5 like Donald Trump wanted, that's 5 young boys who got arrested. Don't think that's like a story that don't happen all the time. 5 young boys who got arrested, got their freedom taken away for something they weren't nowhere near a part of, didn't even do, and they only got out on a fluke that one of the guys ran into the actual dude who did it, who was like, oh yeah, I did that shit. Y'all didn't do it. I know y'all didn't do it because I did that shit. That's wild, because if that dude would have never told them or admitted and then admitted to the authorities that he did it, it would have been all bad. Them dudes would have been in jail for the rest of their life.
Yeah, they would have been off, bro.
So, you know, that's why I feel what I feel about the death penalty. And, you know, we gotta do better, not just with the death penalty, but literally with our whole justice system. We got to do better with our entire justice system, especially if you're gonna be talking about killing folks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
what up, B Reezy?
What up,
cracking, y'all? How y'all doing?
Joining us. I don't know if y'all got a chance to watch it because it just aired. I'm sure Shannon probably watched it, but Kamala Harris just did a solo interview on MSNBC about her economy, and I think she kicked butt.
I didn't see it yet.
I think he kicked butt. She talked about everything she wanted to do with the economy. She talked about tariffs. She went into very detailed. This is the most detailed I've seen her talk about the economy, because you know she's already talked about $25,000 to for new home $1,000 tax credit. Small businesses, and what was it? What was it for small businesses? $50,000.
I think it was 50.
Yeah, 50. Yeah.
$50,000. So she talked about that, but then she talked even more specifically about inflation and how Donald Trump's plan compared to hers is going to actually balloon the deficit. Like, I think, to me, this was her best interview yet. Her confidence, you can see as she does more interviews, like when she did the Oprah thing and when she did the NABJ, you kind of see her confidence growing and she's getting comfortable with going out there and just saying what she got to say. Because you know, a lot of times, like when they were like, "Oh, she's only on script and she only got talking points," but now when she's getting and I will say, I feel like the young lady was named Real who interviewed on MSNBC. She did a good job of, you know, asking the hard questions. She was like, "Yeah, I know you saying y'all made all these strides, you know, during this administration with the economy, but people still hurting." So even with that, I feel like she addressed that. I feel like she did a good job addressing that, and she spoke about that. So if y'all get a chance, watch Kamala Harris interview that she did tonight. It just dropped tonight on MSNBC. Because you know, so many people are like, well, what's her policy? We want her policy. This is a good interview if you want to know about her economic policy and her economic plan. Like, I know she did a good job talking about her policy for female reproductive rights. She's done a good job stating her case for that, laying that out and what's going on with that. But she talked about, you know, the economy. She talked about jobs. She got into the border a little bit and talked about the border. So she did like I said, I think she did a really good job. So for people who still feel like they need to hear more about her and want to know more about her, she did a great interview on MSNBC tonight. But I want to ask y'all this. I heard, and I hope it's true, there's a rumor that she did all the smoke with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson.
I want to watch it.
How do you think that's going to go? Because, you know, Steven Jackson is a big F Kamala Harris dude. Like, he was everyday fuck both of them. I don't trust Trump or her. Da, 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 da. Like, so I wonder what his energy is going to be like in that interview. And do y'all think it's a good idea for her to go places like that?
Of course.
I think so. I mean, I think that when people say that she doesn't have leadership qualities, that's a perfect example of going into the windmill and, you know what I'm saying, being able to sustain shit and fire back or you know, explain your platform where somebody tries to sow doubt into it. It's the same thing I think that people can compare to going to a foreign country, a hostile foreign country, and trying to have a debate with a Putin or, you know what I'm saying, people like that. You gotta, I think it's important to demonstrate that you can go into those kind of scenarios and come out on the other side and represent yourself, not just go over there and let them call you names and shit, and you know what I'm saying,
Right.
and all that. But I think it matters for those people that think a woman shouldn't be president, or, you know what I'm saying, all these different kind of approaches people try to have to why they are against Kamala Harris that may not be policy, like a woman shouldn't be president. There's no policy for that shit. You know what I'm saying? But being able to represent yourself well in those instances, at least counter that type of mind state.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. But then, like I said, I also think. Oh, let me go Facebook. I'm getting comments on Facebook that's not coming through to the app, y'all. So I'm gonna go back and read actually off my actual Facebook page. What up, Takoa? Takoa said they really don't want to know her policies. That's just code for they ain't voting for her because they not demanding to hear Trump's policies. Takoa, we talked about this last week. I said I will understand people with all the what's her policy talk if I heard the exact same energy from people who were supporting Trump. Because I'm like, first of all, Trump has not been talking about policy at all, and she's been laying out way more policy, especially since the debate, than her. Casey said, what can we really do about the border? Well, there's actually things you can do. I don't think you ever going to totally secure the border. Like, let's just be real. Let's keep it 100, Casey. I think what's going to happen is you can stop as many crossings. You could do, because, you know, building the wall is not going to stop it, because they say a majority of immigrants actually don't come across the border. They come through airplanes and just stay. You know what I mean? Like people forget about that whole piece, that whole component. So I don't know. The border, because, you know, people act like the border is this new thing that just happened under Biden and Harris, which is baffling.
Man, that thing been around
We've
forever.
been having border issues literally since Ronald Reagan, I want to say.
It's been around forever.
You know what I'm saying? Like, since Ronald Reagan.
Yeah. And Shannon made a good point that if when she goes on on the All the Smoke, that people are gonna say she's acting black. She's trying to appeal like she got hot sauce in the purse and shit.
Ron said, I definitely will watch the interview and the Up and Smoke interview. Would love to see her do Club Shay Shay and sip that yak so the truth will come out. If she keeps the same message on that couch after that yak, there's nothing no one could say.
If she's smart, she'll hit that yak before she go on there and shit.
Yeah. For real.
Stabilize that brake fluid.
For real.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think she needs to do it because I know, and we talked about this as well. We said nobody on both sides, to me, on the Republican side or the Democrat side, has been doing a good job of speaking specifically to black men. They've been doing a great job reaching out to black women because that's a huge voting bloc. Doing a great job reaching out to suburban white women voters. I even think they've been doing a good job of reaching college educated black men and white men. I will say that. But the average black man, I don't think on either side they have been talking specifically to black men enough. But Trump was sending like black men dog whistles by saying shit that he know they be saying in the barbershop, right? Like she ain't black and you know what I mean? She be arresting people for marijuana and shit. Like he's saying all the
bullshit,
the old school conspiracy theory shit that we heard from black dudes who was like, this is why I don't fuck with Kamala, right? But policy wise, I don't think the Democrats or the Republicans have been doing a good job of speaking to black men. So I think going on Up and Smoke, All the Smoke is a good place to go to have those specific conversations, especially in what can probably be a hostile environment for her. Which I think she needs to be tested anyway. Yeah, you know what I mean? I think she needs to be tested a little bit anyway on that front. These comments coming so fast. The only difference about the border now versus then is it has been hijacked to be a talking point. They wasn't complaining when they was getting all that cheap labor. Now they open up their own shit, and that's the problem. And Shannon says, she said that's what she would agree if they talk about as vocal about the deficiencies on the other side. And that's me too. Let me try to refresh this too, because I'm not getting no comments. All right, there we go. Now the comments are back.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, Shannon said if she goes on her, people gonna say she acting black now. Yeah, she kind of can't win for losing. Regarding the border, Trump promised the wall, making Mexico pay for it. He didn't do that. Now he's spewing lies about Haitian immigrants because it's a 2-for-1 scare. You want immigration and scare you to the blacks. Takoa, I want to talk about that point too, because it's interesting that I've seen black people participating in racism against other black people when it comes to the Haitian immigrants and jumping on that eating cats and dogs lies. I thought that was very interesting and very disappointing. I might say, to see people, jumping on the xenophobic stuff that Trump and his guys were doing. And even crazier, those immigrants in Springfield are actually here legally. So now what they're saying is even legal immigrants we don't want here.
Right. Yeah.
So otherism has gone to another level. You know what I mean? Like y'all say we want people to do it right. We want blah, blah, blah. Well, they did it right. And now you still want to persecute them and talk about, what they're doing. Yeah,
but Trump and JD Vance are still framing it in an illegal immigrant, state when they make public statements about it. They still refer to them as illegal immigrants.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like the otherism is not even about it's not really about immigration. It's about if you ain't white, you ain't right. Because if you got immigrants who are actually here legally, and they were there, they said they have been there because so many people moved from Springfield, they were losing jobs and going to lose factories. They needed the immigrants to come in and work those jobs to help keep the economy booming in that small town. So they said the Haitians coming in actually was a great help to that community and got the community back on track because it was like a dying city.
But they cut off their nose to spite their face, man. In instances like that, like in Florida, they were talking about they're getting all the Mexicans out of there, and when they did that, all the new home construction shut down. A lot of the farming, like the harvesting and shit like that. I guess whatever was active at that point, if it was planting, harvesting, or whatever, that shit was at a standstill. I saw a news clip where they drove through what do you call it, subdivisions that were being created. And and it was just, they had plastic over the wood, supplies that were brought to the construction sites, and nobody was working. It's like you asked to get rid of all these immigrants, or threaten to get rid of them if you catch them working and shit like that. And now you got what you asked for. You again cut off your nose to spite your face. It sounds like the same shit, same type of scenario in Springfield, where they're contributing majorly to the economy. And the workforce and spending, because they buying food and groceries, getting their cars inspected and repaired and shit like that, just like any other person there.
Yeah, Tekoa said the fact is the Haitians in Ohio and Pennsylvania are here legally. No, they don't. They just don't want black and brown immigrants. And Tekoa also said them white folks in Ohio and PA, Republican white folks, have come out in support of the Haitians, and Trump's still lying about it. Exactly. So that's how you know it's about something else. You know what I mean? Like when you give the actual information and you say that, yo, this is not happening, they're here legally, we kind of need them at this point to even keep our city rolling. And Trump is like, they're eating cats and dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I saw they filed a suit today.
Yeah, and they should have, because you know what, man, it is perpetuating the hate crime, because you got the KKK coming out there going after them. You have the Proud Boys out there. You have all these threats. Children going to school for school day have to be, it's sad, man. Like the kids couldn't even take their pictures on school day because of this mess. It's affecting real people. You know what I mean? Like these lies aren't something that you say and it goes into a vacuum. It's affecting real people and real lives and having real life consequences, man. Like you out here, you got to evacuate little kids on picture day. They're gonna be traumatized for life behind this lie.
And it's affecting white kids, so it's about to be some shit. People are gonna start showing up in defense of all the shit that's being said. I mean, not in defense of it, but to push back on what's all been said, because it's not just the fact affecting the Haitian community. I mean, it definitely is affecting them. I'm saying,
but it's affecting that whole community, because like they said, like no, we actually been getting along well. It's been a great community. Of course, they said of course, when you get influx of that many people, there's probably going to be a strain on some resources, but that's like the give and take of like literally keeping your city alive. You know what I mean? And that's something you can figure out, like figuring out how to reallocate resources and all that. That's something you can figure out, and that's something you have to figure out in any city with an influx of people. But again, if you have an influx of brown people, black people, they just look at that shit different. You know what I mean? And I think it's sad. Stephanie said this is exactly what we try to tell our brown counterparts who try to treat us like weird, less than, like they're no better than us when it comes to the white people who don't want any else around but their own. We tell them they don't like you either, but you want to act like you better than us. They treating them just as bad as they're treating us. Oh, they give everybody a nigga wake up call, Stephanie. Everybody. Ron said they said a Haitian dude got asked by a coworker if he ate cats. He said, "I'll be like, bitch,
damn."
You got nerve with your cat walking across the dinner table or stove while you cooking, Karen. Donald Brown said demagoguery, noun, political activity or practices that seek support by appealing to the desires and the prejudices of ordinary people rather by using rational argument. He said that's Trump 101. Absolutely. That's a great point. And like I said, man, it's so funny when you look at the compare and contrast of the two candidates and what they doing and what they talking about and how they move and how they act, and this race is still neck and neck. That shit is insane. But it kind of, to me, it's the microcosm of what it's like to be black in America, right? You could do everything right, do everything perfect, go to college, get educated, move up in the ranks, and still might lose out to a white dude who got everything handed to him. And is out there fucking up, and it still don't matter. It's a microcosm of what it's like to be in America. It really is. Like this race that we watching right now is America. This is the most America you can have watching
Yeah.
this race right now. Like watching Donald Trump call her dumb.
I know that's that kills me when he tries to talk about how somebody else is not very smart and not very bright. It's like, dude, you must not have any mirrors at your house, bro.
The nigga said, "I look better than her."
Dude, when I say like the, because of course, you know, a lot of times I try to, you know, you go to try to watch a little bit of his rallies, and he be saying the wildest stuff. And again, like the last rally I watched, he had them people, they were at the rally saying, send them back. I'm like, you talking about sending back people who are here legally? You know what I mean?
Or is that like a code for like send the blacks back? You know what I'm saying?
It's send anybody black who ain't us, man. And speaking of, Casey said he can't stay on topic at all. No, dude is like, Takoa said, the audacity of whiteness. That's what this race should be called, Takoa. This race should be called the audacity of whiteness, because that's exactly what it is.
Sounds about white.
Shannon said Trump got sassy tendencies. Always puckering his lips and talking about he was better than a woman.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
But like I said, man, like, cause I was telling somebody, I said, you know, if we were talking like regular politics, you know, we talking Bush versus Gore, you know, we talking Barack versus who was Barack going against? Damn, I can't even remember his opponent. Oh, Mitt Romney.
Yeah,
we talking Barack versus Mitt Romney. All of that is like two actually intelligent people with actual policy debating and going back and forth, and you feel like you can make a decision based on like
they policies for you,
their Republican policies and values, or the Democratic policies and values. I don't feel like there's a real Republican in this race right now. I don't feel like there's real Republican values being represented in this race. I tell people all the time, like, when you look at actual conservatism, Trump does not stand for actual conservatism, because actual conservatives don't like overspending. They don't like big spending. They don't like big deficits. They don't like borrowing against the deficit. All things that Trump has done willy-nilly. All, like, if you look at, like I said, you look at true conservatism and the values of and you know how they claim to be the value of family values and all. Trump does not represent true conservatism at all. You know what I'm saying?
But I think the goalpost has moved a lot, man.
It has.
Yeah. So he may represent him a little more than we would consider versus what was done in the past, because clearly the goalpost has moved. What's permissible is way different now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the shit that you see people down ballot trying, like the, you know, election denial for the mayor of some city or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Or like that kind of stuff. That's a whole new trend that started with dude, and now it's being adopted as like standard practice. And these may not be necessarily MAGA type candidates. They're just taking the playbook and trying to do other shit with it, and they're Republicans. So I think that to the old school Republicans' dismay, the rule book is changing, and what's considered conservative now is a little different. I mean, if there's layers obviously to the shit, but you know, at the same time, I think there's just a lot more leeway. This dude is like, I mean, people can go way fucking wide and be like, I'm not as bad as Trump, because there's such a, you know what I mean? There's such a gap in what this dude has tried and what's been established within the party, and you know, changing all these the voting, the you know, the, what am I saying? You know how the zones, like where how the electoral votes are selected based on the population of the lines in the cities and regions where they change the voting power and shit like that. I mean, that's not new, but it's like they're doing it with the lights on now. They used to try to sneak and do that shit and like push it through, and they don't give a shit anymore, man. So I think the rule book has changed.
Yeah. So you know, I think it's like 40 something days left. So you know, she trash too, not even worth the ink that's wholly about anyone but Black Lady. Last night, are you talking about Nikki Haley Casey, is that who you talking about? Who was running? I thought Nikki Haley would have been a actually great choice to run for the Republicans, but you know they probably wasn't going to let that happen. And have y'all seen the other dude? What's his name from North Carolina? Mark.
Oh, that fool Richardson.
Oh, Jill Stein. Y'all don't like Jill Stein? Y'all don't like Jill Stein? Hey, let me tell you something. I got beef. People got beef with me. All I said on the comment was, to me, Jill Stein was the only one I heard talking about reparations loud and full throated out of everybody that's in this race right now. People jumped on my head like Jill Stein is what I said. I didn't say I was voting for her. I just said they're like, you need to live in the real world. I said, never said I was voting for her. I just said I like the fact that she's talking about reparations. But that's the fairy tale. I said again, never said I was like I'm talking about these people was going off on me for maybe like 5 or 6 days.
Damn. Oh
Just
no.
because I said I think Jill Stein is doing a good job talking about reparations.
Niggas can't have opinions about nothing no more.
Bro,
Get drafted
about they
to the
start
other
going-
team.
they start
Man.
going ham.
Man. Yeah,
I was like, she said no reparations is the only positive thing she discussed. I disagree with that. There was a couple of other things I think that Jill Stein, had a good hold on. She's talking about trying to get some of the corruption out of basically making it only a two-party system. You know what I'm saying? Joe Manchin belongs to the Republicans, bro.
Yeah, he was
Joe
a plant.
Manchin, they got him a long time ago.
Seriously, a plant.
Yeah, he was you want to talk about a plant. But yeah, like she talked about reparations to COA, but she also talked about trying to do things that make it not just for a two-party system. And to me, I think that's the best thing that she does is buck the system and buck the trends, because the Republicans and Democrats have been going after her for trying to be on ballots, trying to get her kicked off of ballots. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we need more people to shake up. You know what I'm saying? I think we need more people shaking that up. She had no plan to accompany her lofty ideas. She and Cornell were just to split the vote, in my opinion. I don't know. I think for me, after watching the Breakfast Club interview, I thought she had some interesting things to say. And her vice president pick is a black man, very well educated black man, I might add. And he has some cool things to say too. Basically, for me, I think anybody who gets us closer to having more than the two-party system, I'm kind of for that too. Like, I understand at this point. So this is what people are dealing with right now, right? Like, at this point, everybody's like, everybody's looking at how do you say, like, anybody but Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what like anybody but Trump. So they feel like, damn it, Jill, now ain't the time, because we're trying to get Trump out of here. So I think that's what you're dealing with. But that also, I feel like it ends the conversation that still needs to be had, though, about we wouldn't be in this position as well if it was more than a two-party system. You know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't be in this position of feeling like Trump is the threat to democracy and you only have one choice, either Trump or either Kamala. So I think what Jill is doing to push that conversation forward, I think that still needs to happen to I still, think it needs to be had. But I do understand people's anxiety about her doing it during this election, right? Like, we don't want you taking any votes away from Kamala. We don't want you helping Trump. I get that. But I do think she said, I hear you, but she ain't do it to move. She ain't move that needle. Well, yeah, but like I said, I think, I think we need to figure out how to help move that needle, because we need more than, because a two-party system really ain't working for us specifically. To me, I don't think a two-party system, because a two-party system means y'all know it's either or, and once you know it's either or, we ain't got to do nothing. We ain't got to do nothing once we get your vote. But if there's a threat of a third party, if there's a real true threat of a third party, I think black folks will be like, hey, we can go over there. If there's a real true threat, you know what I mean? Tekoa said, I trust white women less than I trust anyone. Hey, listen, damn. I don't blame you. I said a lot of people who was out there marching the day after Trump got elected, like, y'all know damn well they voted for Trump when they was wearing them pink hats and shit.
Bruh.
like, first of all, when the stats came out, it was like something like 80% of white women voted for Trump. It's like y'all asses out there fronting, y'all frauds. Yeah. It's so unfortunate but true. Some of our closest friends, some of them are closest friends. Yeah. So Takoa, I get it. Like I said, I understand both sides. Takoa, I get what you're saying, but for me, I also feel like there needs to be somebody to come out and like go at that other, go at that other side. So you trying to, he said, so you trying to tell me you don't trust Marjorie Taylor Greene? Oh, not far as I could throw her. Not far as I could throw her. But yeah, man. So somebody said Mark, what's his name? Mark
Richardson, Mr. Black Nazi.
Yeah, Mr. Black Nazi.
Ain't it Richardson? Let me look.
Roberts, I thought it was Robertson. Mark Robinson.
Is it Mark Robinson?
Mark Robinson, the lieutenant governor. Yeah, Mark Robinson.
Oh yeah,
lieutenant governor.
Okay, you're right.
Who's running right now in North Carolina? Who said he's a black? He could bring slavery back because he want to buy a couple slaves himself.
What the fuck, huh? Nigga, what? Nah, y'all niggas lying. Let me see this shit.
He has no political position, man, because if you don't know any better than to comment on a fucking porn site's chat, shit, then you how you gonna run a state and you like put nice titties on a fucking porn thing, you know what I'm saying, and saying the crazy shit he's saying. Like, just do what everybody else does at porn sites, bro, and go home. Why you got to leave your mark? Like, you know what I'm saying? Mark Robinson was here.
Like, who comments on porn sites?
Right. Vote for Mark Robinson.
And so, he gonna say it's not him trying to use AI. He tried to use AI, but dude, you not only use your same handle that you use on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, like you use the same handle on video games. But he had his profile on New Africa, had a picture of him, where his mama worked, his email, and his job. I'm like, bro, that's
What's his nigga name again? What's his nigga name?
Mark Robinson.
Mark Robinson.
And I know he's a lieutenant governor, Takoa. I was just saying that. How you gonna? What kind of judgment does that tell the voters in this current position that you're trying to vie for and shit?
Well,
if you leaving a trail like that,
the nigga bald head, so y'all know he a freak.
Hey, said the bald guy.
Hey man, hey, I ain't got nothing against y'all because I may be.
No, so y'all, man. There's no y'all, bro.
No, for real.
We're talking about Mark Richardson right now.
I know.
Robinson or whatever the fuck his name is. Soldier. Yeah. What was his handle?
This dude was writing whole like novels about him cheating on his wife with her sister. I'm like, bro, who spends this much time writing on porn boards? I don't like. To me, that makes you more closer to a serial killer than anything. The fact that you spend this much time writing on porn comments.
He felt like he was among his fellow perverts, though. It's like, when white people are around other white people, they say shit that they wouldn't say around other people and stuff. So when he's in the porn chats, he's probably like, "Hey, how many girls you raped today?"
Oh, damn.
I raped 3.
Damn.
Clutch the pearls. In any other scenario, with what other rapists, like, I'm up to 2, but it's only like 4:30. I still got time. So it's a comfort level.
It tells the voters he got as far as he did because he's a black Republican and they love him. Now they walking away. You see, he wasn't at the Trump rally. Yeah, they walking away from there. But I'm like, y'all have been like he wasn't saying wild shit in real life before we even found out about this. He was talking about people need to be killed if they don't vote Republican. He was talking about what else? He said some super wild shit. Oh, he was saying, transgenders need to be killed and all this other stuff. And the crazy thing is, he talking crazy about gays and transgender. One of his posts, he was talking about how he liked to watch transgender porn. He said, it's like having the man there without having the man there. Yeah, I'm a perv. This is what he wrote, dog. And
that's his comfort zone. I'm telling you, man.
Nigga, what?
And this is the same man that Donald Trump said is Martin Luther King on steroids. He might even be better than Martin Luther King.
Well, that's a testament to his damn stupidity and shit. Mr. She's not very smart. Just say some shit like that out of his mouth. Anyway, Mark
Nigga,
Robertson,
what
he's a
the
flat tire, bro.
fuck? This is sick, man. And this is the guy that's in.
North Carolina Lieutenant Governor running for governor.
This is
Endorsed by
what
Trump.
y'all want. This is what y'all want.
Hey, and
It's some
and-
nasty motherfuckers in North Carolina probably be like, I can see, I can vote for him.
and they was putting money behind him. I heard they said they was spending like, was it like $5 million a week on his digital ads?
Is that right?
Yeah, they said Trump was going all in for dude.
Shit, I bet part of that was his Pornhub membership. He got $250,000 in downloads every week. Yeah,
Said, this is too much information for me. Hey, I'm just telling. Hey, and let me tell you something crazy, Casey. I'm not even reading the craziest stuff that he said. Like, there's stuff that I won't even say on the show because it's too gross. But like, this is the stuff that I can say on the show. But there's, I think it was Van Lathan on his show. If y'all want to watch the Van Lathan podcast, and he read some of the most explicit joints with no bleeps. And it's really bad. Stephanie said,
No, so I am, because that's like this is somebody just trying to like yeah.
there's a whole world out there.
Well, somebody said he's white supremacy by ventriloquism. You know what I'm saying? They said he did best. His best what do you call it? His best voting block was young white men. Nobody else. So like, he only did well with white men.
Yeah.
And she said that race is close too. Well, I heard it looked like they said he was getting behind before this came out, and they say he's really, really behind now. So
his
actually,
staff walked out on him too, right?
yes, he lost his whole staff, and they said this could actually hurt Trump in the long run too, because it's gonna probably bring more Democrats out to make sure he don't win, and they're gonna vote down ticket, which will give more votes to Kamala, because they said it like this when Joe Biden was in a race, this wasn't in play, and now they say they like 2%. It's like 49 Trump, 47 Harris. And are you reading some more of the other stuff, Lil Red?
This is fucking insane, bro.
He make pervs
Man, I can't.
blush.
Yeah.
Bro, that's strange, man.
Ron said just posting comments on porn sites alone is reaching a design.
Bruh.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man.
And then y'all letting this nigga still be in office around you, motherfucker.
No, they said they want the GOP wanted to drop out. He's like, nope, I'm not fucking leaving.
He's still in there.
Yeah, Puff Daddy saying that nigga nasty right there. Puffy said, "No way, man.
No way.
He said,
I only
no
had
way.
1,000 bottles of baby oil."
I'm gonna try that. Take that.
Literally.
He 57 or some shit like
56. He's 56.
56.
Casey.
Yeah, that nigga is nasty.
That's why I said, like, if I found out one of y'all was like commenting on porn every day, I'd be like, I don't know if I could be friends with you, dog.
Yeah.
That's like a little outside the regular creep zone. You know what I mean?
That's a
It
little
is.
strange.
That nigga probably got an ice cream truck somewhere and shit. You know what I'm saying? And he roll out every once in a while and shit and roll through neighborhoods. Being a weirdo and shit.
Oh, V, stop, please, man.
Help me find my lost puppy. Okay, that's the end of it. That's the end of the battle.
Okay, and what's going on with your girl Janet Jackson? Y'all know I love me some Janet Jackson.
I couldn't wait to bring that up, bro.
Janet Jackson hit us with the Trump, Kamala ain't black, her daddy white. So I will give y'all a little bit of context though. I found out, and I'm not saying this to excuse my girl, but I found out that her closest brother, the closest brother she's closest to is Randy Jackson. If you go to Randy Jackson's Instagram, Randy Jackson is a big MAGA guy, a big Trump, and he posts all those black people ain't victims videos with the So I feel like that's where she's getting her information siloed to her from. but still she shouldn't be saying that shit. But B-Ray, let me get your thoughts on it because I know you got some thoughts.
Well, honestly, I was just disappointed that somebody that's part of central to the culture, the way she has historically been, is so uninformed. You know what I mean? And with the resources at your disposal to be able to discern the truth, you just read some shit like niggas are saying on Twitter and shit, or and X and shit like that. Like, bro, I was completely caught off guard and just knew that it was some misinformation about Janet Jackson. I didn't think it was the real Janet Jackson saying some uninformed shit like that. So I think I was, more than anything, I was just disappointed because of the icon that she is to say that of all things. It's almost equivalent to her saying, they're eating dogs in Springfield. What? Do you not know better than to say that off the cuff? Even you're Janet Jackson. You ain't like Janet Smith and shit, So I don't know. That's really what my take was. I was actually disheartened by her letting that shit come out of her mouth at all.
I was too, and I know because everybody talking about DL clapped back real hard. DL said, "How you gonna talk about somebody black breathing through a white woman's nose?" Look, I'm not gonna go that hard on her. I know she's mourning her brother right now, so I'm trying to give her a little bit of grace because Tito died, But also, like you said, V-Ray, you are too big of an icon to be uninformed. You have too much access. And I feel like she had a double down because somebody from her staff tried to save face and apologize, and then he got fired. And they basically like, "Nah, don't apologize for me." You know what I mean? So that made it a little even more disappointing because she was like, "No, she's standing on business." Like, "No, that's what I said. I mean, what I said." Stephanie said not just that, but that's like the pot calling the kettle black when it could be said that she's not even a real human anymore. Or like it would be messed up if somebody was just like Michael Jackson kids. Like, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't be talking about somebody ain't black and your niece and your nephew in blanket. You know what I mean?
Her own kid is mixed race.
Yeah. So I think I like you said, it's disappointing on so many levels. Yet Tekoa said her son isn't black if Kamala is it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's disappointing on so many levels, and because I'm always for artists being able to speak up and speak their minds about issues. But like I always say on this show, if you're gonna speak up, please be educated on the issue that you're talking about. That's all I ask. If you're gonna speak up and speak out and say some wild shit, please know what you're talking about. Because too many people listen to y'all to be out here saying crazy wild shit and pushing these conspiracy theories or pushing these falsehoods when there's, just too much information. And like you said, V-Ray, there's kind of no excuse. You know what I mean? Because again, even if you didn't know, don't say it in an interview. Right. Even if you feel I don't think that's something you have to say and present. But if you feel you have to say and present in an interview, that means I feel like you're doing it intentionally. You're doing it because you want that to be said and be out there. Because let's be real, Janet been doing it too long to have a slip up.
Yeah. She was from the old school when they were still teaching media, doing media training and shit.
Yeah, like let's keep it a buck, right? Like
she's 50-something, ain't she?
Yeah.
So in knowledge alone, you should know better than that shit.
Yeah. So we can't go with it like, oh, it was like a little slip up. I ain't mean to say she was, you know what I mean? And again, like I said, with her, the tapestry of her family, you would think that would be the last limb that she would go out on. You know what I mean? Like the makeup of 3T, the makeup of, Tito's kids, and I mean, just literally a lot of the whole nine. Yeah, the whole nine. Like, I thought that was interesting to kind of take that route to try to, I guess, get at Kamala or say something snarky, because that's what I felt like, she's trying to get at it a little bit. And I didn't like that. Yeah. And Pop said Randy don't know shit about real life, so for him to be posting all that black people playing victim shit when you've been rich your entire life. You know what I mean? Like, but again, there's a lot of black dudes, Trumpsters, and I think this goes back to my point. Tekoa says she almost 60 years old and ain't never talked politics until this week to say that VP ain't black. That's wild. Just say you support Trump. That would have landed better. You know
Damn.
what I mean? Yeah, Tekoa, you right. Tekoa, you right. Like I said, this goes back to my earlier point, though, where I said I feel like the Democrats and Republicans haven't been doing a good job of speaking to black men directly. So that's how you leave open for interpretation all this bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Jeff, yeah, with AI able to manipulate public, things won't matter. If you're good, that's great until they virtually put words in your face on the bad. Look out, famous. Sure. DL
Yeah,
replied to
at least you can come back off some shit somebody made up about you and shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't last when you can clap back and rebut that shit in real time and the real you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
In Janet's case, she said the shit and then doubled
And then
down.
fired the motherfucker that tried to.
Yeah. And put out a statement saying that that person was unauthorized to speak
Mm-hmm.
and make that statement. So that was intentionally out there, like Dame said.
Yeah. No, he is, Ron. Like I said, if y'all get a chance, go to Randy Jackson's Instagram page, and it's all Trump support stuff, and it's all the typical black Trump supporter talking points when you go to his page.
Shit.
Yeah. That was like I said, that was a little disappointing. You know what I mean? That was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, and I feel like it's getting worse and worse for Diddy, man.
Of course.
Yeah, the more detail that they release, bro, it's like he ain't getting out of jail, man.
50 Cent said he coming out with a Netflix case series or whatever.
Yeah, 50 just bought the rights to the series today. Ain't that crazy?
Nigga, that's so crazy, bro. That's crazy. I can't imagine what this nigga about to put in it. Ain't no telling.
Yeah, he already giving zero fucks on the regular and shit. So.
Hey, he never gave a shit.
Yeah. Somebody gonna fuck 50 Cent up though eventually. I bet you.
Nah, hell, ain't nobody touching 50. Shit. Yeah. I doubt it. I doubt anybody touching 50. But if they do, that's epic too.
Yeah, I don't know. The dude is a classic instigator though, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's the wrong one.
Just sock him out real quick.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Anyway, so I digress. But fuck, I forgot the point I was about to make.
Stephanie said 50 is like the male version of Wendy Williams.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. He's like one of them shit stirs and shit, and petty wars. 5-star generals and shit. To each his reach, I suppose. But nigga.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is breaking news too. I don't know if y'all heard about this, but Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, is being indicted for corruption charges.
I knew something was coming, man. They was confiscating phones and doing all that shit that they was doing. I knew there had to be something. But every motherfucker in New York is corrupt on the politics side. So how are they picking the people that they go after, I wonder?
I don't know. But that's all. I don't have a lot of information yet, so I can't really speak on it.
Yeah.
But I just, like I said, I just saw breaking news that he got picked up and he's getting indicted. Sheesh.
Nigga.
Yeah.
Did you already talk about Kevin Liles and that Julia chick from Atlantic Records and both stepping down? No, I didn't. So Kevin Liles is stepping down from 300 Records, his label. I mean, a lot of CEOs are stepping down, but I'm hearing, Stephanie, from a couple of people that I've spoken to, a lot of these CEOs are stepping down because a couple of really big mergers are coming and they're about to fold a bunch of the last few labels left into maybe like 2 big labels. And it's not going to be any more CEOs, basically, except for, those 2 big labels that they're talking about, among other things. So that's what I've heard. That's the information I've got. And I heard like some wild stuff with AI is supposed to be coming down in regards to labels using their big artists but using them via AI for features for artists and stuff. But until I get more information about that, I can't talk about it. But it's like the change in the industry is about to be really kind of crazy.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So it has nothing to do with Diddy. I don't think it has anything to do with Diddy.
No,
I can't
I
say.
was reading something.
Because
Similar.
even old boy from Nike, he even stepped down too, right?
Yeah, they
Nike?
have like
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would like cash me out because it's my it's about to be rough for a lot of these industries. I think that's what's actually happening.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What else was on the horizon? Did we talk? We talked about Tito last week, right?
Nah, I think so.
The loss of Tito Jackson.
I wasn't. I didn't make it.
I think y'all did. Yeah, y'all did.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all did. Y'all
Well,
did.
one more time, man. R.I.P. to Tito Jackson, man. If it wasn't for Tito breaking that string, we wouldn't have the Jackson 5, man.
Yeah. that shit is insane, bro.
Him breaking that string and getting his ass whooped.
Worth it. It was worth it.
It was worth that ass whooping. Every bit of it.
Yeah, worth it. Thanks, nigga. Appreciate you. Legend.
Yeah, man.
Gave us good music, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. She said, yeah, she talked about Tito. That was right before everything went south and folks started disappearing. She said Mars talked about it. Ryan said he broke one for the team. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
I got it. Don't worry. I'll take the ass whooping.
Well, man, I think that's everything we have on the docket for the day. Steph, Shannon, Steph and Shannon, they stay on us. They make sure we have all the subject matter, even if there's something I forget. So I just want to let y'all know I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. Like, they be coming through. Steph and Shannon be in my inbox, making sure I'm up on it. So I really appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all watching the show. I appreciate everybody who was in the comments today. Comments was popping like crazy.
Yeah, they were today.
Stephanie and Shannon, CEO, comment co-host right there.
Right. Good to see Casey in here. I ain't seen you in a minute. Ron. I mean, everybody. Donald. And I know a lot of people watch and don't comment. So I appreciate y'all too, because I run into people who be talking to be like, oh, I was watching y'all show. I'm like, damn, you didn't comment, but they be watching the whole thing, man. Like, so shout out to y'all. Shout out to the quiet ones who've been watching.
Shout out to the quiet ones.
Stephanie on our head. She said I need a super group now. I've let you slide for too long. Okay. Super group for tonight.
Damn,
I got an idea.
started
Super group of bad singers.
All right. Super group of bad singers.
No, I just have the idea. I don't have no names yet, but I thought that would be hilarious.
All right, Stephanie, there you go. There's your super group. Everybody in the comments before we get out of here. Super group, because that's hilarious. That's a good one. I want to see who y'all come up with. Super group of bad singers. All right.
I think I only got 2 or 3.
Who you got, Lil Red?
All right, so my first one will be Ice JJ Fish.
Yeah, that's the David Ruffin of
that's
no
a whole
singing.
group right there, bro.
Ice JJ Fish.
50 Tyson.
Damn.
People with all internet.
Shit.
Famous niggas.
And what's that new nigga name? I forgot this new artist name. I forgot his name, but I don't. You know what? To me, I know y'all probably think he can sing, but I don't think the nigga can sing. I don't like Jacquees.
Oh, he was gonna be in my group.
Yeah, I don't like Jacquees. No, nigga. No, nigga.
All right, so Shannon got her group all together. Paula Abdul, Eddie Murphy, and
Jacquees, yes.
Hey, don't be doing my girl Paula. Don't do Paula. Don't do Paula. Ron said Eddie can sing. He can sing Party Uptown. That's about it.
Yeah.
Who
Remember,
can?
was I with you?
Hey
Oh,
man,
you got Michael Jackson out of bed for this?
man. Said Michael, I got a song.
Put your mouth on me. That was. Hey, yo. All right,
Written by Mark
so I'm
Roberts.
gonna go a little more famous singers or people we know who in groups. All right,
All right, let's go.
Steve Arrington,
Yeah, good
Sweat,
band.
Who?
Keith Sweat, Steve Arrington. Y'all gonna hate me for this. Alicia Keys,
Yeah, nah, you right. Nah, keep going.
and Jaquez.
Yeah, bro. That nigga.
You stole my Keith Sweat, but I'd say Keith Sweat, Jennifer Lopez, and Mary J. Blige. I know niggas gonna come at me for Mary J. Blige, but that's the beauty of her. Is that
It's okay because we know somebody else that don't like Mary J. Blige like that either, and it's kind of bothering me. But
she got
you know.
energy. That's what gets her biased. Like the heartbreak songs, "Don't Kick My Ass No More" songs. You don't have to be a great singer for those. That's like blues singers and shit. But now that she's in better relationships, it's like, but you still can't sing. So the magic is not the same.
Not the
But that's
same.
just me. That's just me. Anyway, that's the three: Jennifer, Keith, and Mary J.
Oh, Steph. She said add Montel Jordan to that list.
Get that man a break.
I ain't saying I wasn't out there shaking my groceries to the joint when it was
Hold
out.
on. We can't disrespect the vocal talents of Britney Spears.
Yeah, we could.
He said, yeah, we could. Britney has some jams, but if you strip away them songs, that you strip away them tracks, not that production, just listen to the vocals. Woo. So there you go, Steph. You got your super group tonight. Steph said William Hung, the guy from the old Amazing Grace video, Jaquez, Weird Al Yankovic. Hey, you leave Weird Al Yankovic out of this.
Hey, yeah, hold on.
Weird Al is a national
Weird Al
treasure.
hey, that man is funny. I love that dude.
Weird Al Yankovic is a national treasure.
But he's bad on purpose, though, too.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that man.
You need Weird Al out of this.
Oh,
all right,
man,
well,
that beat it. I gotta go watch the Beat It video now.
I'm trying to find Randy. I'm going on Randy Jackson's Instagram page.
He probably took all that shit down.
He only got like 5. He only had like 6 videos up, but they was all like Trump page. Casey, good night to you too, Casey. It was good. Seeing you on here. Thanks for commenting. So everybody, Stephanie said that was fun. That was a fun super group.
Way to end it.
Yeah, super group. Yeah. Go ahead and check it out, V-Ray. But like I said, everybody check out the Kamala Harris MSNBC interview. Let me know what y'all think. And I think the All the Smoke interview should be coming out in a few days. So hopefully that'll be up before we do our next show, because I definitely want to talk about what she does the next show. And I will say this before we leave. I think she's smart. She's been doing these interviews where she wants to on her own terms. And I think it's been very calculated, very smart. Most people's like, she's high. And I'm like, no, I think she's doing it the right way. She's figured it out. So love, peace, hair grease, like Ron Wilson said. Thank everybody for joining. Wild Thoughts. We will be back next week, man. I truly appreciate all of y'all who watch the show. I love y'all.
Yes.
Until next time.
Absolutely. All right, y'all.
Stop the world, let me off. I don't like this destination. I like a transfer to the express line. I gotta get off. Electric slide into the devil doors of life. Things are changing and it ain't the way our life. On the replay, wish I could get a replay. Don't mean to hold ya, but I wanna do over. Gas up the ship.